inside but smiling, ain't no hope inside, but I'm trying to cope with all this violence. Got these voices in my head, but I just try. What's up, everybody? Right now I am trying to mask off my pearl white pleats. Pray that this does not pull the paint, so I can get my next color sprayed. The rest of the interior will get sprayed the color of the car. A friend of mine that has always been an excellent, would you call it foiler, or working with bare metal foil. He was telling me years ago on some of this stuff, the bare metal foil works as a great mask. And so for stuff like this, when I'm doing something like these interior parts, I began using this, and overall it's worked really well. I've had good luck. It's funny, I can mask stuff off with bare metal foil, have it come out great, and then when I go do my bare metal foil on a finished car, it could be 6 times easier, and it turns into a job. I don't know if any of you guys have ever dealt with that. It's funny how that works, huh? So I'm just using regular knife and a new blade in the hobby knife, because you got to get down in way down there. So sometimes that blade on the hobby knife works a little better. So yeah, working, using the foil to mask stuff, like I say, it's worked, it's been good. See a little spot. I'm just gonna put a little piece there. Saw a little edge on the other where. Sometimes when he hits me and I close my eyes real tight, and I wish see how it's pulling. So for those of you that do your foil work, then clear your cars, when you're using some of the acrylics, it's not as bad because you have something for it to bite into. Using these bases, it is just, and there's almost nothing. That's why normally I just do my foil work after the car has been cleared, unless it's something like my 61 Impala that wanted just that 60s look of someone that's got something in progress, so it stayed in primer. Came out, you know, killer, but that was a difficult one because of all the foil work. Just gonna clean that edge up there. You know, I'm one of those folks that, there we go, right. I'll get something and it's definitely doable, you know, and I've gotten where something little, a lot of times I try not to let it get to me, but before I was horrible. I mean, I expected these things to come out perfect, and because of that, I ended up with a lot of models that got put back in the box that I've since in between the projects I'm working on, I've since started to pull some of those and started to go back and either finish them or clean them up and finish them. But you know, one thing I've learned with this hobby, I guess depending on your goal and what you're building for, you know, expecting perfection isn't always the most reasonable thing to do. I mean, it just depends. You know, if you're doing, you know, obviously a build for someone that's paying you for it, you know, your margin for error might be a little slimmer. But me, you know, a lot of these things that we build, you know, we don't really have much in terms of contest in our area. Belle and I were talking about maybe going to some of the stuff that's down like in LA. But even that, I mean, that's, you know, from here to LA, that's a 5-6 hour drive. So we end up, you know, you got to make a weekend out of it. You know, here in our general area, all we really got is the NNL West, which is really cool. But, you know, it's you set your models down and display them. So there's a lot of stuff you can get away with depending on what you're trying to build, right? Our club, Monterey Bay Scale Auto Enthusiast, we're putting on an NNL type of show in September. And I'm going to start posting up the flyer for that. I've got it on my Instagram, and I've got a few people that are like, hey, this is cool, you know, gonna make the trip. So that's awesome. I appreciate that. You know, we did one just after, or I mean, it was kind of during like one of the COVID breaks, and it was a very minimal turnout, which I think in some regards was kind of expected, you know. So hopefully this will be a better turnout. You know, Belle and I will be there trying to get Pops to go. So just pulled a little corner there. So we're gonna go back and hit that in one edge there. Well, yeah, it should be a fun show. I know some people have kind of asked why I use the foil. And granted, this is some older stuff. That's why I grabbed not just the black trim, because I've had it for years and I've never used it. And two, since, you know, we've kind of gotten back to building, I've always built and always had some projects going. But with other stuff and the kids when they were younger, it was hard to get that consistent bench time in. Whereas now with kids being a little older and a little more spare time, and with Belle really getting into the hobby, you know, that's a huge kicker for those of you who got kids, you know, with sports or whatever. You know how it is trying to balance things out with work, you know, their sports and stuff like that. It can really be, you know, a lot of work to get that time in, you know, for whatever you're doing, right? And that's what's in some ways kind of made some of this a little easier, you know. Belle being into it. Same thing with pool. We would not shoot anywhere near as much pool, or I wouldn't, if it wasn't for Belle. I don't like that line. If it wasn't for Belle being, you know, involved in it. So, but anyways, yeah, so it's been a blast, you know, having Belle in here building, and my girlfriend, I think I was telling you guys, has that 63 Corvette we're messing with. So I mean, it's cool. We all kind of mess with it, and have a good time, you know? So, yeah. Look at it from this angle, actually doesn't look that bad. Okay. Always fun. I'm definitely not the quickest when it comes to foiling and taping. That was one of the reasons why for this challenge I did not want something that I was going to have to spend a lot of time doing foil work on. You know, just for that reason. Yeah, just keep, got that one edge that doesn't want to cooperate. And again, that's the fun of foiling over base. Now it's making me think I should just leave all this pearl white, but you know, kind of have that idea in my head of what I want this to look like. So we're gonna see if we can make that happen. So I'm gonna keep foiling away. I'm not gonna keep you guys here listening to me jabber while I do this. So I'll let you guys check it out before we spray. See you shortly. There we go, Belle's getting her, this is Splash Paints red we got from Scale Riders. We'll eventually go on a model, but right now it's going to look good on these steel wheels.
Are you going to spray the wood? If you're going to paint the wood, why don't you just go ahead and paint it blue for now? You might want to leave it that way. In the old days, I used to just spray the wood, so it's up to you. Then you got the option.
Yeah, let her see what she thinks once it's all in color. she wants to brown it out, then I'll give her a hand with it. We have a few different
I'd like to learn
browns.
how to do that. I really would. Yeah, let it sit in the...
Looks good. And we got Belle almost done with her base. We're a little behind schedule, but I think we'll be all right. What's up, everybody? Paul and Belle here, Left Coast Model Car Builds. Another update on our 48-hour builds, and it has been fun, but it's had its challenges. We are now clearing completely different colors. We were having some issues with the airbrush earlier. I mean, it was painting okay, but with the 0.7 needle, the air pressure, it just wasn't. It was gonna take forever. So we swapped over to the gun, switched colors, because the Tropical Blitz, the range of sprays I have using the touch-up gun, I mean, it bore right through the whole thing. So anyhow, so we're gonna keep clearing here, and we'll have an update after we're done, some pictures later. We are on our third coat of clear here. Things are looking pretty nice. 29 over there. Here's Belle's. Parts are looking good. There you go, Joe. There's your grill sheet. Alright guys, we are going to finish clearing and we will be back. How's it look? What's up, everybody? Paul here. We are done clearing. So that is House of Colors Tangelo Pearl with Restoration Shops. They call it like their European clear. Really nice. Lays out good. I don't even know if that's gonna have to be rubbed. Well, hopefully not, because I don't even have time. Some of Belle's parts. So Belle's, we ended up doing, it's a factory AMC blue that I had picked up when I was doing a Gremlin build for somebody, a friend. That's the factory color. Came out really nice. There's the clear we're using. Oh, we got stuff everywhere. Normally we're not doing this, and normally we're not doing two kits that have multiple parts. Here's Belle's wheels. So these are splash paints, Guards Red, and then it's got our clear, the Restoration Shop over it, and that is sharp. That's Splash did a good job on that. We have some PPG Guards Red, and that's nice. That's very nice. Let's see. So there is Bell's 37. Came out very nice. There's my two-toned seat you guys saw me taping on earlier, so I kept the pearl white pleats. Did the rear end in pearl white. So we're gonna let stuff dry, take a little break. This is probably the best I've felt since about 10:30 this morning. So yeah, look at that. That just came out beautiful. Very nice, Belle. She's doing a lot better with that gun. There's Belle sporting our Rod Powell shirt. Check him out if you've never heard of him. He is a customizer. Man, awesome pinstriper. Flames is what he's really known for, I think, aside from everything. But check him out. Look up Rod Powell Custom Cars. That's who my dad painted with. I grew up hanging out around the shop.
He has like his own.
Yeah, we go to stuff he's had. That's an old up there. Hold this book. So right up here, Rod Powell's Picnic. That goes back to when I was a kid. Right there. And Belle's inherited shirts of his from me and Pops.
Gave this one to me.
Yeah, Rod gave her that one. We see him occasionally at Cars and Coffee.
Don't have to see the gray one I have from the picnic.
Yeah, we had one last year. It was the first one in a while. We'll be back, supposed to, I think, do another one in October. Yeah, so we had some major issues with flash on these bodies. So I pulled a body out of the second kit. This is actually the second one. The first one was worse, but, you know, this one I'll take and I'll either strip it or work it over. The first one, it had that mold line, and two dimples, one on each side, that were worse than this. But, you know, I sprayed it this morning, knocked it down with 1000 grit and 1500 in the sink in water. Started to shoot more orange, and it seemed like there was no difference. Then this one did about the same. I was hoping the base, sometimes you can fog it over. And don't get me wrong, but for this 48 build, 48 hour, I was really thinking if I just, you know, worst case scenario, it'll go as a satin build and it'll look fine, you know, but I stuck with that first body, and the second round went back and just started fogging the orange, probably hit it with another 5 light coats, and you could still see a little bit, but you know, once it settled in, it was good. I actually mixed a little more paint with a little less reducer, because some of these reducers we use can definitely bite into the plastics. So anyhow, we're gonna hope our stuff that's clearing sits out here in the sun. We're gonna let this stuff sit as it's on my Riviera out here. Nice day right now. I'm hoping the weather holds up and these parts can sit out here in the sun, bake a little, and then come tomorrow, hopefully they're good enough we can start building. Belle went ahead and put some clear on her engine. I did not. I just cleared my wheels. Something a little different. You know, like Belle's, most of these hot rods, the steel wheels go with the red. To match the firewall and the pleats, I went with the pearl white on mine. So they'll have the rings, maybe the center caps and the white walls. So that's my 59 Chevy there. That's got to be rebuilt. Got a head-on highway. Guy crossed over and landed right on top of it. Yeah, it's a wild one. That's maybe show some pictures, do a story on that one day. So that's a cab we picked up to redo or start, but we gotta get the Riviera going for Belle, I guess she says. So that's the project now. The 57's pretty much done. So anyhow, guys, that is our update for now. I'm gonna probably do some work on my motor later, but I'm gonna kick back and relax for a few. So I'm gonna get this update up and see how you guys are doing. We'll catch y'all later.